Hello, I am recording this video tutorial for the SEC assignment just to make sure that you know how to actually read the numbers on the financial statements if you have not seen this yet. The financial statements are always provided either in millions or thousands. For Apple, we're looking at Apple Computers, their 2013 statement. The actual numbers are in millions, and the share data, which we will talk about in block 3, don't worry about that just yet, are in thousands. So what we need to concentrate on now is what we say is in millions. So what that means is when you're looking at the actual numbers, so the net sales for 2013 for Apple is shown on their statement as $170,910. But because the statement is in millions, that means that we need to add 6 zeros to the end of this when we're interpreting the numbers that are shown here. So what that looks like now is that their net sales is actually $170 billion, and that's how we actually have to interpret it. So if you're asked a question about their net sales number, their sales are 170 billion, not the 170,000. So always when you're looking at this data, interpret it as it having 6 zeros on the end of it. Just like the cost of sales, 106 billion, the gross margin, 64 billion. Everything in here, I'm just putting these on a couple of them, but every number on here you would have to add the 6 zeros to when you're interpreting it and analyzing the data. So the net income for Apple in 2013 was 37 billion, not the 37,000 that's shown. Always remember you're adding. If it says millions, 6 zeros. If it says thousands, which we're not using for Apple, at least for the dollars here, you would only add 3 sets of zeros. So let's look at their balance sheet. So their balance sheet is in millions. You always want to look in this upper left-hand corner because that's where it'll give you this information. So cash and cash equivalents is not $14,000, but it's actually $14 billion. And the same thing for the total assets. If we just look at that one, it's not 207,000. It's actually 207 billion. And these zeros will apply to every number that you see on here. I'm just putting these on a couple of these as a sample. So you can see it, and we can talk about the specific line item. So I hope that's helpful in completing your SEC assignment, and that is the end of this tutorial.